This is your weekly IUP-TV news bulletin, broadcasted from the comfort of our own homes. My name is Jonathan Papadis.
And I'm Mackenzie Ocker. We bring you stories that are relevant to IUP and the Indiana community. Let's begin with local news. COVID-19 cases have spiked locally in Indiana County. Cases have increased by 4% in numbers collected on Thursday by the Pennsylvania Department of Health. The total cases increased from 485 to 505 as of midnight on Friday. IUP has confirmed 36 cases of COVID-19 and increased the total to 87 since the count began on August 15th. Although the total represents student, faculty members, and staff, the university reported the number identified in the last testing period are all students.
A new book release came from a collaboration of 6 IUP recent graduates. The book, which was released under the direction of Dr. Eric Lauber, was based on a compilation of stories posted on a website called decodingtodayyouth.com. The book is called Your Kids' World Today. It includes information related to youth culture from using Instagram to the impact of vaping. The book was released on August 5th.
It's more important than ever to get your flu shot this flu season. With COVID-19 cases on the rise worldwide, U.S. health officials are saying this fall could be the toughest flu season in years. Experts are saying there are 3 main reasons to receive a flu shot this fall. A flu shot lowers your chances of contracting the flu, you limit the spread of the influenza virus, and the more people who get vaccinated, the less of a chance a flu patient will take a hospital bed that's needed for a COVID-19 patient. Flu vaccine manufacturing companies have ramped up production to prepare for the high demand.
Hurricane Sally is picking up speed on the Gulf Coast and is projected to dump 30 inches of rain across the region. The coastlines of Louisiana and Alabama have already seen significant storm surges and flooding. A storm surge warning is in effect from the mouth of the Mississippi River to the Okaloosa and Walton County lines in Florida, as well as Mobile Bay. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves also formally requested pre-landfall assistance from President Trump. With the implementation of an international arrival cap put in place by the Australian government, thousands of Australian citizens are stranded abroad with no way of getting back home. The arrival cap was put into effect by Prime Minister Scott Morrison to ease the pressure of hotel quarantines that were the cause of Australia's second outbreak. Many are stranded abroad with no income or family support and are desperate to get back home.
Japan's political elections are heating up as 71-year-old Yoshihide Suga was elected as the leader of Japan's Liberal Democratic Party this past Monday. Receiving a total of 377 votes, it is almost guaranteed that Suga will become Japan's next prime minister, succeeding current Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who, last month, announced that he would be resigned due to health issues. It is speculated that since Suga has been a key figure in Abe's administration, many of Abe's policies will remain the same.
The Communications, Media, and Instructional Technology PhD program gave my life direction. This program was perfect for me with a combination of research and media production. Hands-on courses gave me skills that I now pass on to my students. I use all 3 areas of the program, production, theory, and research, every day in my job as a college professor.
Learn how the CMIT PhD program can change your life. Visit iup.edu/CMIT.
With a new school year comes a new class of freshmen, and that probably means they don't have a car or know much about what's around town. A common solution for this is biking. With many students using their bicycles to get around, we want to inform new bikers about Indiana's new bike lanes that might affect them while biking around campus. Our reporter, Caitlin Dotz, has the story.
IUP's campus has gotten a lot greener over the last few weeks, and I'm not talking about the trees. I'm talking about those big green bike lanes that have been painted all around campus, extending from the Hoodlebug Trail to the Church Street Bike Station. The bike station offers a place to park, as well as tools and instructions you may need to repair your bike if you have a flat tire or a broken chain.
I think they're great. I think they clearly delineate where the route is to go from the end of the Hoodlebug to here to downtown. And also, I'm totally not an unbiased opinion because I'm on the borough council that gave the go-ahead to put the project in, so I really like the project because I voted for it. So yeah, I think it's great. It's now here. It's been a long time. We've been talking about getting a route in for like 6 or 7 years, and so now it's here. So that's what I like about it most, is that it's here.
But not everyone is a fan of the new bike lanes.
So what do I think of like the green bike tracks? I'm not a fan. I think that they unnecessarily just closed a bunch of roads to do road work for the sake of inconveniencing drivers, which is really what I feel they do all the time. There's still one of the roads closed over up here on campus that I can't drive around on. It's pretty upsetting. Honestly, I mean, I like bikers. If they want to share the roads with us, I'm okay with that. I'm all for it. But I think that they should extend that same courtesy to us. They should really follow the rules of the road. They ride on the sidewalks anyways, which in a big city you can't do, understandably, but at the same time, use some common sense here. If I'm driving and you're in the middle of the road, please just let me pass you. Please don't drive in the middle of the road. Don't ride your bike in the middle of the, like this isn't a music video for Queen, all right?
Drivers and cyclists will just have to get used to sharing the roads.
COVID-19 keeping people at home this summer, many have found new ways to keep themselves entertained. That means picking up new hobbies. Our reporter, Trenton Gross, talked with a family who found a new hobby in beekeeping.
The world is currently facing endangerment to our greatest pollinators, bees. Bees help provide 80% of global pollination. Due to pesticides and climate change, the number of bees colonies per 2.5 acres has fallen by 90% since 1962. One single bee has the ability to pollinate up to 300 million flowers each day. They not only pollinate flowers, but are also responsible for the reproduction and pollination of fruits, vegetables, and nuts. One way people are helping to keep these fuzzy pollinators alive is starting their own hives.
Well, first you have to purchase some bees, so you can actually get them in the mail, or you can get them from a local beekeeper, which is what we did. So we actually got a box of bees that has 2 kind of frames in it, and we actually just pick the frames up out of the box, put them in the beehive, and shake the rest of the bees on top.
Beekeeping is one of the world's oldest hobbies, with many benefits and considerations to keep in mind. Honey is chock full of nutrients including niacin and riboflavin. Having natural honey will help keep these nutrients, which in turn will help soothe coughs and boost memory. While beekeeping is low maintenance, there are considerations to be kept in mind, such as allergies and startup costs with an average of $460. Even with the threat of stings, beekeeping can be made into a family-friendly activity.
What I mostly like about them is that they are I like that they fly around and that we don't get stung by them mostly. And I just like that sometimes they're calm.
Bees are some of the world's most essential organisms. Beekeeping is an easy way to ensure the future survival of these hardworking insects. This has been Trent Gross with IUP-TV.
Hey you! Yeah, you! Did you seriously just cough in your hand?
Yeah.
Were you planning on washing that hand?
No. Who's speaking right now?
Haven't you heard of COVID-19? Look, you really need to be washing your hands, especially with soap. Here's why. Viruses have an outer layer made of proteins and fats. This layer protects the virus's inside. Conveniently, soap contains an enzyme that dissolves fats. Here's a demonstration. If you add a fatty oil into water, the oil will separate from the water. But if we just add a little bit of hand soap and we agitate the water and the oil, you can see that the oil dissolves into the water. The enzymes in the soap penetrate the fatty layer and physically rip the virus apart, killing it. So please remember to always wash your hands thoroughly with soap. And don't forget to rinse. What are you waiting for? Rinse your hands.
As students return to universities across the nation, parents and students still have many questions about how things will be operating this semester. A common place to ask these questions are question and answer forums, where university staff can directly assist in finding information for concerned parents and students. I wanted to learn more about how IUP's Q&A forum operates and how they are helping students navigate university policies. Here is the story.
The fall semester has arrived, and with it a new, uncertain school year.
As COVID-19 continues to persist in our lives, we might still have many questions regarding how universities will handle this new normal. Thankfully, IUP already has a system in place for those concerns. The Hawks Q&A Center is IUP's premium spot for parents and students to ask questions about any concerns they might have, whether they are COVID-related or not. Hawks Q&A offers both a Zoom call option where students and parents can talk to a Hawks Q&A staff member directly, or use the iHelp function, which acts like a private email system. Dr. Amber Ricchini, the director of the Hawks Q&A Center, sat down with me to talk about this new informative tool IUP is offering to its students.
We officially opened on August 15th when all of the incoming first-year students moved into the residence halls for this academic year. And one of the points that was emphasized by the UPC is that students were concerned about the ability to have their questions answered. So because of that, they determined that a Hawks Q&A Center, so a one-stop model, should be created in order to help with student success. I did some data analysis from August 15th to August 31st. We had 237 contacts through the Hawks Q&A Center. And so most of them, about 65% of them, were from first-year students. So a lot of our first-year students are using the Hawks Q&A Center. Actually, out of all of the questions that have been posed to the Hawks Q&A Center thus far, only 9% of them have anything to do with COVID. So the majority of our questions are just general questions about IUP where students aren't sure where to go. And that's really what we're here for, is if you know where you're supposed to go to get your answer, you go to that place. Like, don't stop to us so we can send you there. But if you don't know, we're a great place to stop. We will either directly answer it for you. We had about 30% that had to do with scheduling, and which makes sense because it was the first couple of weeks of the semester. Some housing questions was about 9% of the data, a little bit of data about the bursar's office with 4%, financial aid about 6%. So really questions covering almost any topic, and COVID being about 9% of those questions that came in.
This Q&A style of student assistance seems to be fairly new on the academic stage. The Hawks Q&A Center was based on already existing sites hosted by the universities of Tennessee, Oregon, and San Diego. Larger local schools like Penn State and the University of Pittsburgh have no such systems in place like this. Perhaps IUP will kickstart a trend in Pennsylvania universities, setting up similar Q&A centers to assist students in finding the information they need. Reporting for IUP-TV News, this is Jonathan Papadis.
As IUP reopens its doors, many changes have been made to protect students from spreading or contracting the COVID-19 virus, the most prominent of which has been the enforcement of mask wearing at all times on campus and in university buildings. Our reporter, Marvin June, shares his observation on how masks could become a new culture or even a new fashion. Here's the story.
For some people, masks are simply something you must wear during this pandemic time. As the pandemic continues to take effect, more people have different types of masks, maybe based on certain fabrics or their favorite sports team.
So, what do you think about wearing masks? I think that it's something to do. It's a step we could take to be a little safer. You know, I don't think it's a be all end all, but I think it's something like it's a good idea. Like, if it helps stop spreading it to one person, I think then it's a good idea to wear one if you can.
Not everyone wants to comply. One reason might be difficulty breathing. While some refuse to comply, others use this moment to let their creativity shine. Similar in the US, masks are also required to wear in China, Japan, or South Korea, and many other places. For example, this requirement is not difficult to follow, since a lot of people are used to wearing masks in the first place. What makes it interesting is during this pandemic time, some people are taking this time to be creative and are designing masks and taking a fashion approach by using different fabric, including leather, cotton, silk, and some even go as far as to make full headdresses out of masks. With this time of uncertainty, masks might continue to exist, whether to wear just to go to the store, or when you travel, or just to make a fashion statement. This is Marvin June reporting for IUP-TV News.
I don't personally have any unique masks. I just have my yellow one that my mom made for me, but I know a lot of my friends have some uniquely themed masks. Some of my friends have some Star Wars themed masks. One of my friends has a bunch of sports themed masks. Mackenzie, do you have any unique masks?
I wouldn't say they're unique, but I have an IUP one and a Penn State one. I got these from my grandmother because she knows a lady who makes them, so I'll be pretty good and stocked up on masks for the rest of the year. Well, that's all the news we have for you this week. Don't forget to check out our Instagram and YouTube pages to catch up on episodes you might have missed. My name is Mackenzie Ocker.
And I'm Jonathan Papadis. Stay safe out there, IUP, and we'll see you next week when we talk more about Dr. Eric Lauber's book and the reactions of freshmen about their opinions of the new Hawks Q&A Center.